Hello friends, my name is Lynn Ware and I'm the owner and teacher of Ware Academy of Music. Many of you might know me as a music history or a rudiments or a guitar teacher. And today I'm just taking a few moments to talk to you about what I do for fun. What is the teacher doing to have fun during her Christmas break and seasonal sort of rest? What I've been doing is something called the Shambala Bracelet. I'm sure you've seen lots of videos, those of you who are into the arts and crafts, on the internet about how to make a bracelet out of cotton cord, square cord, or hemp. And some of you may actually be doing that yourself. Peter insisted that I look up the word Shambhala before I began this little tour through my Shambhala projects. And it said there that it became known as the Buddhist Pure Land. It was a place for the concept of reality as spiritual and visionary as opposed to merely a geographical and physical type of reality. So it's a great word. And as far as I was concerned, it simply meant that you were going to be making a knotted bracelet of some sort interspersed with beads. So what happens is I've established a personal style here over a couple months. Basically, I start off with two 1mm leather cords as my centerpiece, the bracelet part of the pull string. And over this are the series of knotted cords here and interspersed with beads. So as a person experiments with the different shapes of the beads and the gemstones, they can get a different effect. Some are very, very plain in nature, like this one. This is actually a bracelet that I could see a man wearing. Okay, it has a barrel bead. It's fairly unornamental, I suppose, and then just the black knots in between. Following that, I have a little brown bracelet here, and this one is going through a clay bead. Okay, clay beads are nice because they have a little larger hole, and then using some brass barrel beads there, and actually just using the idea of a regular overhand knot as a decorative element there. Okay, so we're having the two knots here on the side. And the nice thing about the Shambhala is you have this adjustable knot here as the clasp. Okay, it's just some tied knots. Another variation here is that I have strung beads on the outside, the outer rim of the actual bracelet. And those are about 5mm beads, and they're being interspersed with some Toho seed beads, and I'm using a 1mm cord there and a little glass bead there with a golden tone to complement the gold beads on the side here. And I have a little variation here with the larger bead on the outside. And then as the centerpiece, I'm doing two red gemstones here. Those are the gemstone beads, and then this is just a simple glass bead. Okay. The important thing is you have to buy beads where you can pass through your center strings. Very important to the Shambhala. And incidentally, the Shambhala is a very, very economical type of bracelet to make. It doesn't cost a lot of money, okay? Because you're not using a sterling clasp, you're just I'm using some leather cord here as my center base, and then the cotton cord wrapping around, and some people use hemp. And then I'm interspersing different metal beads and hematite beads around the edge there. Some little variations I've done with various colors of the cord and various thicknesses. Peter insisted that I try each one of these on. He said that I couldn't possibly do a bracelet video without putting them on, but I'm finding that a little cumbersome right now. But this is again another clay bead there with the 2 brass spacer beads and some silver beads being interspersed there. This is a cord I accidentally ordered. I don't like the color of it at all. I got this cord from Beadaholic and it was called Red Brown. I was very, very unhappy with it, but I did manage to find some colors I could live with in combination. For the red brown, I'm using a navy blue. There's a gemstone and there's a hematite and another little blue bead, and then some gunmetal small little beads I'm incorporating in the actual knot. This bracelet, using the purple cord, this is a Toho seed bead here on the side, and then the amethyst and the hematite here. Something very simple, and this one was really inspired by someone who said that they had a metal allergy and they just couldn't wear metals, and a lot of my patterns have the copper and have the silver in them. So again, what could you do if you were allergic to metals is, again, you would use your Toho seed beads on the side and then your gemstones in the middle there. Most important for all these bracelets is the inside pieces that I'm using 2 1mm strings of leather, and that's providing me with the ability to use a variety of beads. Now, this is a very, very thick cord on the outside, and because of that, I couldn't use too much of a variety. So there were a few beads. A button here, a friend had left me her button collection, and I hadn't known what to do with a button, you know, for years, but I kept them, and now I can make a pretty bracelet out of that. One thing I did experiment with was using a button closure. I don't really recommend that. That's not my favorite. I thought that it would be a neat, tidy look, and it actually is, but it's difficult to actually get on your wrist, and you have to just be a little more precise with the length of it, so that instead of having the 2 ends coming out, it is a little cleaner here, but you're still going to have a tail. Okay, you're still going to have a tail on the bracelet. Okay, so I enjoy it on the one hand, but it's not something that would be easily made for someone else. If you didn't know their exact wrist size, or you did not come into contact with that person on a regular basis in order to tailor make it for them, it would be hard to use the button. This is a favorite bracelet. When I've shown my friends this particular bracelet, they seem to really, really enjoy it. The combination of the bright copper bead there and the black thread, and then 2 little faceted black onyx beads there, and then just a big copper piece there. So none of these beads are actually very large in size. They range in size from about 8mm to 12 or 14 for a center piece bead. This is my most recent experiment, and I learned how to do this particular pattern from a Beadaholic video on YouTube, and they were basically showing how to make a Shambhala with 10 beads of equal size. Now, not equal color, you could use some metal and some gemstone, but I didn't want to stick to the equal size. I thought maybe that would be boring, and I definitely didn't want to stick to all the same shapes. So I've basically interspersed my gemstones, and I've got a couple of those light blue nuggets and some smaller copper beads there to kind of brighten it up in the middle. So those are the Shambhalas I've been working on, giving me lots of fun, lots of entertainment, and lots of joy. And so I just wanted to share that. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.